Marcus, show plant. Okay. I showed this one the other day, but I'll show it again. I'm a big fan of. Give me a G plant. Gesneriad. This is a Gesneriad. The letter of the day is G. Gesneriaceae. I showed this one the other day, but it's blooming and it's really pretty, so we're gonna pull it out again. Grass. The most important plant family, the Poaceae, the grass family. Yeah, Ethan, we could talk about grass today and gymnosperms. But this is a Gesneriad. G-E-S. Gesneriad. It's a family of plants. This one is an African violet from tropical Africa. I never showed the cactus on the windowsill. I don't know exactly what species they are. I've showed them before, and some of those cacti are questionable to show. It has no aroma. The plant has no smell. People cultivate it for its little flowers. It has fuzzy leaves. Eater of drywall. Hello. Arcane Hero, thanks for following. So, the plant, people call them African violets. There's multiple different hybrids and crosses. There's a few different species that they come from. The leaves are thick. It has really fuzzy leaves. This particular one is cultivated for the flowers. Tor, thanks for following. This plant has no smell. So the plant is showy enough that it can successfully can propagate itself without having to attract pollinators. If they have a smell, usually they are relying on some type of animal or insect to move the pollen around, but this one doesn't need to. There's lots of different ways. In March, we're probably going to have a week on pollinators. So there'll be pollinator-themed week. But I love this plant. And it's in a little tiny pot. You can see my nails really long on this hand because I play guitar. But, yeah, Marcus was an educational volunteer at the garden that I worked at, and then he was hired by the garden. And so we did a class propagating this plant together. It's really easy to propagate because you can remove a leaf and stick it in some media, sterile, clean media, and it will grow. Science Guide, Rose, welcome. J-Del Plants. Pants. I immediately saw plants. Mr. J-Del Pants. Thanks for following. Is that how we met? That's, yeah. Howdy Woo, thanks for following. So this is a lovely little Gesneriad. It was in the windowsill, so you can see that it's kind of moved all of its leaves towards that one direction. But I brought it out the other day. I have more of them, but they're not flowering, so, you know, I want to pull this one out. You came in time for a cute story. Yeah, Marcus and I met when he was volunteering, and over the course of several months, we got to know each other. Does sterile environment mean like boiled water? Good question. So we can remove a leaf of this plant with, so what I mean by sterile is that the plant will have a fresh tissue that has been cut, and it could be susceptible to rot or bacterial infection. And so what you do is you could use potting media, but if you use like sterilized puff volcanic rock, there's perlite. Perlite is that white puffed volcanic rock that you see in potting mix. And that stuff is really good for this. Nikito. Marcus, you bring me plant? You bring me African violet? Be careful, the basins are full. I filled them recently. Nikito. I'm doing quite well. It's sunny outside and it's beautiful. And the birds are chirping and we got plants. Oh, okay. This is a good one. Yeah, thanks. Okay, well, we got another plant here. Hydrate, Adam. Thanks. Hey, Adam, I'm gonna take your test on stream. The floral key, the flower key, personality. You can't. I would not advise eating this plant. African violets, yeah. You like when I play the Undertale song on guitar? Ooh, Nikito, thanks. Thanks for following. Adam, yes. We're gonna be, we'll do it. This is another plant that you might have seen on stream before if you've been here, but for folks who are new, this is a weird looking thing. This is called the dead plant. This is called the dead plant. And it looks dead, but this is a plant from Africa. It's highly endangered actually. um it's quite endangered, and it's not dead though. Potty Woo, your spirit plant. It's a euphorbia, so it's in the family Euphorbiaceae. Euphorbiaceae is a family of plants found in Africa and India, South Asia, that produce a lot of latex. Poinsettia is in the Euphorbiaceae. Sassy Frog dropped the command. Euphorbiaceae, the sporage family, also known as euphorbias. You might know it because of a lot of them look like little cacti, but they're not. A lot of euphorbias look dead. You have a dead look to them. Yeah, that's true. This one is Euphorbia platyclada. Platy meaning like flat, right? I'm gonna double check them. Platy, resembling a plate, so flat-ish. Kelp, you came from IG and reminded you have to repot your lemon lime philodendron you've been neglecting for the past 2 months. That's good. Well, there you go. It's always plant time. It's repotting time in the household, and everybody gets some new media. Plotting, scheming. You remember that meme going around? It's not dead. It just looks like that. That's right. So this one just looks dead, but it's not dead. I got this plant because I went to my friend's greenhouse, and this plant grows like out and hangs down, and I bumped into it, and it just like fell off. The little plants fell off. And so then he's like, well, if you want, you can put it in some soil, potting media, and grow it. And so that's what we did. And now it's grown a lot. It was just these little sticks here, and it's regrown. Let me find a photo of what it looks like in the wild. Mine is a little bit etiolated, so it's elongated because of lack of sun. Because I've had it in windowsills. Is the plant dead? Spurge or dirge? Find out at 11. Yeah. Lux, thanks for following. Euphorbia platyclada. It's trying to reach out. Yes. It's trying to grab the sunlight. And so it elongates to grab the sun. That's called etiolation. That's when the stem elongates. Captain Lewis, hello. 1st of February. Okay, Salty Boy. Have fun. You're going to go teach a class. Hope it goes well. It's trying to touch people. So this is what the plant looks like in well, not in habitat, but you know, this is more realistic. Ooh, okay. We got a hype train? Anonymous gifter. Oh wow. Thank you, whoever this may be, for the gifted subs and supporting our community. That's very sweet of you. Appreciated. That's a lot of subs. Thank you. Bramful Puff got one. Hey, nice. Lovely stuff. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is what the plant kind of looked like when I broke a piece of it. Eternal ellipsis, yes. The letter of the day is G for Gia. Gesneriads, gymnosperms. Etiolation is a process that occurs when plants grow in low or no light, resulting in long, weak, pale stems and leaves. Yeah. So this one was grown in a windowsill, and yeah, Gaia, geraniums, Ursa furiosa. Hello. Yeah, it gets red when it gets stressed. So this is kind of, you know, this is kind of what it looks like. Let's see the wiki. It'll tell you that it's threatened. It's vulnerable according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The first thing you heard was sperm. You have the ears for certain words. Red Fire Firehand, hello. So yeah, the plants, this plant is vulnerable. So it's a dead stick plant, you know. If you see this in a greenhouse, you're like, well, this is dead, I'm gonna throw it away. Nope, this is thriving. Mine even made flowers a while back. The flowers are crazy. These are, euphorbias have unusual flowers called cyathea, I think that's the word. Euphorbia. Cyatheum is a single one, cyathea is plural. Yeah, so if you've seen poinsettia, they have cyathea. The flower structure is unusual and strange. It doesn't look like your typical flowers. Are they hard to find? This plant, I've never found it at a nursery. I only got it because one of my friends who's an extreme collector, who like buys and trades like plant material across the globe. He had it in his greenhouse and I accidentally bumped against it. And a piece broke off and he said, well, you might as well just try and grow it. And so now I have it. So, Cyatheum. Yeah, it's a little annoying because there's a genus called Cyathea with an extra like letter in there. The Walter White of plants. Are they? Please let us know if you ever give a presentation on Rafflesia. Okay, well, I'll let you know. I mean, every day we do plant education stuff. So we might have a corpse flower day where we talk about all the different plants that are stinky. Stinker dinkers. Sassy Frog, I missed a good one that was related to Rose. Oof. I always play and start with Rose. Vile plume lovers, unite. It is Panda. Little Panda Express. That's right. I'm gonna eat this and everything will be right. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and moved to California and then moved to Hawaii. Moved back to Austin, Texas. Min, hello. It is pretty good, actually. Mine is better than what Marcus has ended up getting, you know. Marcus had beef, and the beef looked questionable. The chicken, though, is fine. It does look good. This is like a Chinese-American fast food. It's not Chinese food, but they market it as Chinese food. It's definitely not Chinese food. It's like a approach. Similar plants in the greenhouse. Rotting meat smell are atrocious. Yeah, there's a lot of plants that smell like rotting meat. Yeah, Captain Lewis, one of my friends, Mario dude said that his family is from like Taiwan and China. And they said, oh yeah, they love panda, but it's not Chinese food. They go there and because they want Panda Express. They don't go there for Chinese food. Rato, might I ask where you are from? Or where you are? Yeah, the land of the free. That's one way to call it. Right now we have some crazy people doing nonsense in our government. Dalalok, privyet. Or should I call you Dalaloke? Always sneaky, huh? The god of mischief has arrived. Hope you're doing well, Dalalok. So there's a lot of plants that produce chemicals that smell stinky. Many of them are in the family Araceae, the arum family, the Titan arum. So yeah, what happened? So a lot of botanical gardens, they have Titan arums. I'll talk about the Titan arum, and then Marcus, remind me to talk about. I know what you're talking about. It's in the milkweed family. let's talk about all the stinky plants. Let's do that one first. So there's a plant that's a succulent. It's called Stapelia. Stapelia grandiflora. This one is quite a novelty. Some people call it the starfish cactus, but it's not a cactus. It is like I believe it's in the milkweed family or something. No. Dogbane family. Apocynaceae. But it's called the carrion plant. And so this plant makes these flowers. There's actually several plants that kind of look like this one. If the stems are really soft, but they kind of look like cactus. It looks like it could bite you. Here's a good picture of what the stems look like. It's a beautiful plant. I love the way it grows. There's several different genera that have the same kind of look. Huernia, Stapelia. Luna, hello. You have a cactus in the same family, but it didn't smell like anything. Yeah, so, it looks like a cactus, but it's technically not a cactus. It's just a succulent in the Dogbane family. And then it makes these flowers, and they often open on the ground, and they smell, to me, like a wet dog. But they're supposed to attract beetles and flies. So this one is Stinky, and that's what Marcus was talking about. What is this other one? The Titan arum. So a lot of botanical gardens will have this, and they'll make a real big deal about it when it blooms. This is in the Araceae family, and the flowers of the Araceae have the spadix, like the peace lily. This is a tiny photo. Okay. The peace lily there's a spathe and a spadix. So there's this big thing which is the stem of flowers, and then there's the colorful leaf around it. So there's the colorful leaf, and in this one it goes all the way around, and it's like maroon. And then there's the spadix, which is the stem of flowers. Naked. Ratto. Yeah. Wet dog. Dog. Yeah, wet dog smell. He's naked. Why did I just want... you want to bite it. That's fine. But look how big it is. And so these are fun plants. And they will smell. They'll smell, but the thing... Duskborn, that's crazy. They have like a big underground stem called a corm. This is I call it a tuber. I guess it might be a tuber. This is the tuber, and then it'll make one leaf, and it'll just get a bunch of energy from that leaf. And then once it has enough energy, it'll start making the flower, the inflorescence. And then it's supposed to attract like flies and things, so it gets hot. It actually burns energy to generate heat, and then it smells. So the heat volatilizes those chemicals. The heat volatilizes the chemicals so that they go into the air, and then, maybe an insect's like, oh, this is rotting flesh. I can't wait to go and touch it and lick it, But then it's not. It's a plant. So there's actually a lot of arums that generate heat on their flowers. And you can get a monitor and watch it. It smells like hot rotting flesh. Yes. So then what happens is people will put on live cameras. And they'll want to watch it bloom. And then people show up and they want to smell it. It's not carnivorous, but it looks carnivorous, right? It doesn't eat anything. It's not carnivorous. It's just trying to pollinate. Yeah, mockery, Captain Lewis, it is evolved to mimic dead flesh. But then, everyone I've talked to who has been in the presence of this thing is like, it doesn't actually smell that strong except for a really short window of time. So it'll bloom and maybe even look like one of these photos. Like it might look like this, but then you won't smell it. And there's only a particular point in time, and it might be in the evening or something, where it actually starts to smell foul. So has anyone in chat smelled this plant? I haven't. I've seen them in their leaf form, They don't digest insects because they're not carnivorous, but carnivorous plants do. Carnivorous plants, there's carnivorous and proto-carnivorous. Proto-carnivorous means that it doesn't have the ability to digest insects and absorb the nutrients completely by itself, but it might utilize a bacteria. So some plants will have bacteria that sit in like a liquid, and it uses the bacteria to break down the decomposing organism and then extract the nutrients. And that would be like proto-carnivorous. Kelp wasn't too bad. Maybe you didn't smell it at peak. You wouldn't your zoo. Yeah, so that's kind of what everyone has told me. Is that it doesn't actually smell as intense as they thought. Dustborn road trip. There's one in Brooklyn. So any botanical garden worth their salt is going to have one of these. That's my 10 cents. Every botanical garden worth its salt has a Japanese garden and a greenhouse with a Titan arum. And if they don't have both those things, then they're getting there, but they're not there yet. And so, if you know cognac, you know the starch cognac, this is the same family. There's 2 in Philadelphia, yeah. So it's quite marvelous. And when 10 years ago, it felt like, oh, no one has these, and they don't bloom frequently. And now it seems like this is good. I love that this happens, but it's less special because every botanical garden has one, and like every year there's, 10 that are blooming. So it's exciting. I might be missing some of your questions, but if I miss them, just type them again in the chat. I look like a coach today. Yeah, I'll teach you how to play football. Rip Van Winkle Gardens. No Titan arum there. Okay, Monogonian. Yeah, this one. So this is another plant that smells stinky. It's a stinker dinker. This plant is in the genus Rafflesia. So this is mislabeled. Whoever put this in iStock said it's a Titan arum, but that's not right. The Titan arum is this one, and he's now flaccid. This is called Amorphophallus, the misshapen penis. This is the Pokemon, yeah. Let's look it up. Rafflesia. Yeah, so Rafflesia. It's a completely parasitic plant, actually. It doesn't rely on it doesn't really have leaves. So let's see it's in the family Rafflesiaceae. There's only 36 species and 3 genera. They have enormous flowers. These might be the biggest flowers. Venusaur. Looks like this but doesn't have a hole. That's very fair, Rato. Yeah. The buds rising from the ground or directly from the lower stems of their host plant. So they're parasitic plants from Southeast Asia. They've been discovered in Java, in what is Indonesia. They're from rainforests. It's an obligate parasite, so it is an obligate parasite of vines. It has no stems. And it has haustoria, root-like structures that grow into the other structures to absorb water and nutrients. Yeah, this one is parasitic. You've never seen leaves of this plant. You've only seen the flower, right? It doesn't have really any leaves. It has stems, and then it has haustoria. Haustorium is the singular, haustoria is a plural. Orchid's parasite too. Dulaloke. There might be. Orchids in general, though, just sit on trees. So those are epiphytes. Epiphyte is phyte means plant, epi is like on top of, right? So they're just plants that sit on top of things. But they don't hurt the plants. Epi means upon, above, near, before. The plant scared the bejesus out of you. Doesn't it look like it eats you, you know? Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me with sweet understanding. Let me go get Audrey, too. Hold on. I'll be right back. So this is your Audrey too. Now, it's just a Boston fern with a prop, but I'll put him in the back. It always asks me to feed him. He goes, "Feed me. Feed me, Matthew." I say, "Okay." I give a little blood every day. It's still growing nicely. What were we talking about? Justice for Seymour. What were we discussing? Parasitic plants. Oh, that's right. So this plant is parasitic. It's a hollow parasite, or it has to parasite, and it specifically targets vines of the genus Tetrastigma in the grape family. So if you see Tetrastigma, which is a plant in the grape family, then you might see, if you're in the Indonesian rainforests and you see Tetrastigma of the Vitaceae, look closely. Actually, don't look closely. You're going to see these. These are big and red. Duraphelsia. Forte. How do you do? The Titanarum. So yeah, in English, Rafflesia is known as a stinking corpse lily, also known as a corpse flower, or Bunga Bangkai in Indonesian, a name that more commonly refers to the Titanarum of the Araceae. The monster flower. Okay, the one. Let's see. The monster flower is this one. Rafflesia arnaldii. How bad does it smell, Adam? I don't know. The thing about the plants that stink is that the only plant that has really stunk for me has been Stapelia. This is people call it the starfish cactus, but it's not a cactus. It's from South Africa, and it is a succulent plant. And it looks like this, and then it'll make flowers. They are in buds like this, and then they open up, and they're called a carrion plant, like carrion, the rotting flesh. This is the only plant where it's been in a room, and from like 20 feet away, I've been like, oh my god, there's a Stapelia in here. Because it smells like wet, dirty dog. Looks like a Demogorgon from the Stranger Things. Is that a Fabaceae? Yes, it is. There's a Cucurbitaceae, there's Fabaceae. Yeah. What family is onion in? Chanel number 5 also stinks. The perfume. So of all the plants that are stinky, maybe it's because of my my connection with succulent plants, and I'm often around them. But there was a cactus and succulent show at the botanical garden I worked at, and they were setting it up, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna pull out all the plants that are blooming and put them in the middle of the room as like a show table to show them off because it's special." And they put a Stapelia, like this that was blooming. The day before, I could smell it in the other room. As you walked in, I was like, "Oh my god, okay." It was, I had one of these in college next to my bed, but it was never really that bad. K-Prof, hello. You'll take 4 of these. Welcome. You'll take 4 of these little stinky plants. They're beautiful. In Hawaii, actually, they're invasive. Well, they grow well in Hawaii because it doesn't freeze. And so there was one hike I would do that was Cocoa Head. If you know Cocoa Crater, there's a hike called Cocoa Head, and this plant is all over there. It's a bit dry. So this is an old World War II kind of X-ray museum. Thanks for following. Cocoa Head. We do it once a week. Good for your constitution. It's just, look at this. Just go straight up the mountain. You see a lot of them here in Hawaii. Kelp, are you in Hawaii? You want to borrow a Stapelia? I love Cocoa Head. Hey, Kelp, I used to work at in the marina there, at the Greek restaurant. And so I would take the bus, Route 1. Hawaii Kai. Aloha. Welcome aboard the bus. Route 1, Hawaii Kai. I lived in Mo'ili'ili, but take the bus down to the Coco Marina. Yeah. I worked at the Greek Marina for like 2 years. It was good because I got to get my chicken. Today I'm eating Panda Express. But this was a fun hike and it's relatively dry. And all along here I remember distinctly on the right side. You're from Kaneohe. You live on the big island now. Nice. Ah, you're getting hit by a hurricane, right? Are you on the leeward side of Big Island? Anyway, so there's a ton of them just all over here, and I would always tell my friends, hey, you know, go put your nose next to that flower and smell it. Yep. Okay, you're getting the, is it hurricane, right? Big Gay Olay. How's it going? We're talking about stinky plants. Stapelia, Rafflesia, parasitic plant from Indonesia rainforests. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Cocoa Crater. I have lots of good memories here. My knee, oh my gosh. My knee is not the best. Going up would be fine. Going down would be so hard. And people run up. You're enjoying Hello Kitty Island Adventures. Ooh, fun. Knee surgery? Will you pay for it, Rocco? I'm in the land of the free. Things are expensive for that. Kind of windy though. Yeah, my friends in Hawaii were showing photos of all the wind and like recycling bins being blown down the street. Patel, there's a stinky plant up in Alaska. Let's look it up. Stinky plant in Alaska. Black lily. Oh yeah, this one. The chocolate lily. Oh, I know this genus. Fritillaria. It's called chocolate lily because of the color, probably not the smell, right? Stinker dinker. You too wish to be thrown down the street. Ooh. Kelp, hopefully you stay safe and you're all good and you know, everyone has got what they need and you don't lose power. Yeah, definitely. Well, please take care of yourself and take care of those around you. Kaka? This plant. Stinky. I want people that popped up. Okay. This one is different. Franfelpuff. Aloe vera is kind of stinky when you cut them too. Yeah. I don't really like the smells of aloes. Aloes are wild. The smells, they smell like green leaf volatiles. They're kind of grassy. And some of the bigger ones, they have a natural scent. Yeah, they're not my favorite. They're very beautiful. Aloes are beautiful. I think they're quite lovely plants. Allodendron. You love the smell of aloe. Okay, well, everyone's got their thing. I don't like the smell of tomatoes. You know, like with the green leaf smell of tomatoes. If you grow a tomato plant, you rub the leaves and you smell it, not a fan. Aloedendron. My friends in Hawaii called it aloe instead of aloe. But this is the aloe tree. They reclassified as aloedendron. And look how thick that is. This is a cool plant. Aloedendron dictopomum. The quiver tree, because indigenous folks would use the wood to make quivers for bows. Yeah, I don't. So the really big like aloes that kind of look like this, when you cut them, like the hedge aloes, when you cut them, then it can be stinky. To me. Little pink pony. Your favorite plant is in the Cannabaceae family. Oh, my favorite scientific name is in the Cannabaceae family. I'm guessing that you enjoy marijuana, but Humulus lupulus is my favorite scientific name, and that's hops, and it's a little cannabis plant. But they smell so strange, but I love the name. This is the flowering structure. Kind of irregular, strange thing. Some aloes in Africa can grow to become trees, yeah. PC Markey. I learned something about Ireland today, PC Markey. Is it true that the first day of spring in Ireland begins on February 1st? St. Bridget's Day? Brigids? So despite my shirt, beer, barbecue, I do not really care for either of those. I don't really like IPAs. I don't like the smell of hops. I like the way they grow. I like the name. You love the smell of mulberries. Ooh. Do you have the Russian mulberries in your area? They grow invasive in Texas, and they're so good. There's native Texan mulberries, but they're like quite small. Falcon. When I was younger, the elixir of courage was lovely. And now that I'm older, I prefer a coffee over an alcoholic beverage. I'd rather have a kombucha. I love spicy food, Franfelpuff. I love spicy food. I would go to the Himalayan restaurant, and I'd say, hey, can I have it spicy? And for like 3 times, they would never make it spicy. And I was like, okay, I think you're misunderstanding. Can you please make it Himalayan style spicy? Nepali, yes, it was Nepalese food. And I had some goat curry or something. And I was like, please make it like Nepalese style spicy. I know that I might not look like I can handle it. Please. And I had a lot of sinus allergies and like congestion, so I love spicy food because it would clear out my sinuses. And yeah, it was fun time. And then they would all stare at me, watching sweating, turning red, But it was good for me. The black lily is also known as a root rice rot. Fascinating, Patel. Not familiar with that one. Brigid. St. Brigid's Day. The Imbolc. Yeah, they basically said you're too white. I had told them, hey, I know I look white, but please give me Nepalese spicy level. The Laloc. Oh yes, silk production. So yeah, silk produced by caterpillars that eat mulberry leaves. Beige. Good afternoon. We're talking about plants. I'm finishing eating my Panda Express. Franfelpuff. I agree with you. Spicy food can be healing. And for a long time, it was quite... I ate it like basically every meal because I was like constantly congested. I need a shirt, Forte, that says tea, plants, and laughter. That would be cute. I'd like that. But make it in this like American bro style. It says plants, Pokemon, tea, friendship. Thai food or Mexican food? Ooh, Rose, those both sound good. When in doubt, order out. PC market, that makes sense. Before the colonization, the Catholics colonized. Those rascals. Hey! Okay. Oh, Rato, thank you for the rose. Gesneriads. Gesneriads. It's the right thing to do. The double... You'll take a 2XL. Nice. I have to put this down. Forte redeemed, it's the right thing to do. We used to do it with oatmeal, but now we're keeping it topical to the Gesneriads. The letter of the day is G for Gia. Hey, this is our friend from Let's Botanize. Today, letter of the day is G. The G for Gymnosperms. Hey everyone,
today we'll be talking to you about Gymnosperms.
Gymnosperms.
Let's botanize.
Let's botanize. You should follow them.
So, Gymnosperms are one of the 5 major lineages of land plants. They're also one of the 2 lineages of seed plants. The other being the flowering plants, which we'll cover in a later series.
Gymnosperms, hell yeah.
Unlike flowering plants, Gymnosperms do not produce flowers or fruits. Rather, they produce their seeds on exposed structures. And this is where they get their name, Gymnosperm.
Gymno.
Means naked seed.
Naked seed.
So there are about 1,000 species of Gymnosperms, most of which are conifers. However, there are a few less familiar lineages in the group. These include cycads, ginkgo, welwitschia, needham, and ephedra.
I love ephedra. There's one native to my region, and I found some. Let's botanize. Cycads, they're gymnosperms. They look like ferns, but they're not. Ginkgo, you might know ginkgo. It doesn't make fruits, it actually has little fleshy reproductive structures.
Hey everyone.
So let's see. Excite me. This one looks good. To be a botanist. That's so funny even. Who is that guy? He is I guess now he's a professor at Harvard for botany. He and another professor, they make little videos about plants, kind of like how I do. So it's Let's Botanize. That's their channel. You can find them on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. They're real fun people, really nice. They love plants. The fellow you saw, he is a specialist in ferns. Ginkgo, please. Tell me about ginkgos.
Wyoming is cold, dry, and windy, but there are a lot of different trees that we can plant in our landscapes that will actually do quite well for our climate.
Ginkgo, letter of the day is
one of those that will actually...
Letter of the day is G for ginkgo. Sandy Gunner, thanks for following.
...work is a Zone 3 tree known as a ginkgo tree. This plant is dioecious, meaning there are male and female trees. Generally, people will want to buy a male tree. The female trees produce a fruit.
Wrong. That's not fruit. Help. Take care. Have fun with the work things, and we'll see you around. They lay eggs. They look like eggs. So the female ones produce, I call them fleshy cones to inform folks that they're not fruits, because they're not angiosperms. They have to have flowers. The guy has a funny accent. He sounds very American to me. These are the ginkgo eggs. That's right, Ethan. Yeah, there's a fleshy tissue called a sarcotesta. Sarcotesta, and then inside is the seed.
Which is messy.
People with this accent are very kind but very dry. That's fair, Marcus. This fellow, he seems lovely, but he's lovely.
The female trees produce a fruit which is...
Wait, you thought it said beer, bro. Oh, beer barbecue. Yeah. Sarcotesta. It's the name for the tissue.
Messy and provides an unpleasant smell. Ginkgos are an ancient tree. They can actually be found in fossil records. Ginkgos are native to China and have been introduced to the United States. Even though this tree behind me is quite small, ginkgos can become quite large in size, reaching sizes similar to large cottonwoods that we find across most of Wyoming's cities and towns.
This guy's in Wyoming.
Another benefit of ginkgo trees is they are actually quite resistant to diseases.
They live forever. Ginkgo trees do not have some of the same age situations as other trees, so they can functionally live. I mean, not forever, but they. Something about their like cellular structure and the way that their genetics are is that they don't have like shortening telomeres or something like that. Well, let's see if we can find a video about it. What makes them resistant to diseases? Certain chemicals. So like redwood trees, the redwood trees, the coast redwood, they have a lot of different chemicals. So the tree grows slowly and invests a lot of its time into the production of secondary metabolites or chemicals in the tree to protect itself from pests. Wizard Trooper, thanks for following. Gonna eat ginkgo for dinner? I don't know if they taste good.
And pests. From the University of Wyoming Extension,
So for folks who are not used in the United States government has universities called land-grant universities. So every state in the United States has one university that's focused on like plants and farming. And in Texas, it's called Texas A&M. And in California, it's called the University of California. And in Wyoming, it's the University of Wyoming. And what they do is they have a department called Extension. And Extension, what they do is their job is to take all the research from the university, and then find ways to teach the people in the state about the research so that they can integrate the science into their lives. So I almost went into Extension because it's like teaching and helping people learn about stuff. But you have to work at university, which is why the leaves serving to such an extent. The leaves are called biloba. They have a slit in them, so they appear to be bilobed. I like the ginkgo leaves a lot. I love them so much that I collected them like a decade ago and pressed them and put them on the wall. They can live for quite a long time. Let's see if we can watch a video on their lifespan. Oh yes, so they drop their leaves, and their leaves all turn yellow at the same time, and they all fall basically at the same time. So all of a sudden, within like a week, the ground is covered. The ground is covered in white or yellow leaves. Extension is great, and it's lovely, and it's fun, but the thing is you have to work within the system of a university, which is often quite political, and then you got to, meet expectations and deadlines and try and get money to do everything you want to do. And so I'm basically doing Extension, but through Twitch. So I'm doing the same exact thing, honestly, that Extension agents do. You made an assignment about ginkgo. Yeah, science guide. Speaking of ginkgo biloba. Oh, let me get this. So, ginkgo biloba. Biloba, because the leaves are bilobed, there's two lobes on the leaf. This is one leaf and it has two sections. Sometimes the small leaves don't look like that, but they also look like little fish tails. In Texas, most of them look like this, but in climates with maybe less intense weather, they look like this and real big and pretty. They're doing construction on the outside, so if you hear banging, that's because they're doing the construction. There is a special letter today. The letter of the day is G. Morg. G for ginkgos, for gymnosperms, for Gia. In your country, ginkgo leaves turn yellow in winter. Beautiful name in Chinese. Oh yeah? Are you in China Ray Museum? That's exciting. Yeah, ginkgos are from China. Yoban is sharing that one of the most well-known ancient ginkgo trees is 14,000 years old and located in the back of Guqianjin Buddhist temple in China. Exciting. G for growth and germination. There's so many things to talk about today. That's right. Exciting, exciting. So, yeah, Science Guide shared something that was really interesting too, is that ginkgo biloba is often believed to help with certain things, like Alzheimer's and memory. But all the research that's conducted on it shows that there's no data suggesting that ginkgos provide benefit to memory. And so when I worked at the botanical garden, we'd have ginkgo trees, and I was like, oh yeah, I take that one for my brain. It's okay. Well, based on the science, based on all of our current studies, the studies could be wrong, but based on everything that has been researched, I'm trying to find a video. Okay, this is on the secret of long life. Didn't ginkgos go extinct? Green. Yes, so ginkgo biloba is the only living species, or extant. Extant is the word for something that's alive currently. Ginkgo biloba, of the genus Ginkgo, of the family Ginkgaceae, I think, is the only living one, but there's many species of ginkgo that don't live anymore. Oh, you follow me in Red Note. Ray, lovely. X-Ray Museum. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. I appreciate you. Yeah. Let's see. Ginkgo biloba. Yeah, the Ginkgoaceae. It's the only currently living species in that group. Ginkgaceae. That's right, Yilban. Frankelpuff. Where do you live? Ginkgos are some of the best trees for almost any environment. You can grow them. G for gnome, G for Jim. Yeah. You can grow them in Texas. You can grow them in, like, New York. You can grow them in California. You can grow them in Canada. They're zone 3. Where, they can grow them in Boston. You can grow them in China. So Texas has the same climate as most of China. So most of the plants that we grow in Texas are from native to Texas, or they're from China. Pterodactyl. Yeah? The G is silent. Pterodactyl, I'm so sorry. Salty boy, how did the class go? Are you done teaching? G for get me out of here. The great urban trees. Yeah. Yusuke, hello. Yeah, good urban trees. The plants are either male or female. And so what happens is the females make those fleshy cones, and those fleshy cones, that fleshy sarcotesta, can be stinky. Speaking of stinky plants. And so people intentionally only plant the males. They only plant the males. Alyssa, welcome. Let me show you. They're great street trees. G for Ganymede. Hey, you know what's up. Salty boy, interesting. Sometimes it be like that, though. These are the fleshy reproductive parts. People call them fruits, nuts. I call them fleshy cones because they're gymnosperms. These things, they get stinky. So, people just plant the males, not the females. This is the female. The female makes the seed. Or the megasporangia. Are they edible? I suppose, yeah. I think in China, I think they're eaten, right? Captain. They don't smell like that. I think so there's a tree, some trees smell like reproduction, of human reproduction. And that's a different tree. Green, you have them all over the place in Switzerland. Yes. The Calgary pears. Bradford pear. This is the one that smells, it's quite pretty. I mean, it's related to cherry blossom. It's in the genus of cherry blossoms. But when it flowers, it can smell like ejaculation. Okay, I want to see... Let's watch this video. And
Fort Worth Botanic Garden.
Fort Worth Botanical
These
Garden.
are,
Okay.
bud.
This is called Is the Secret to Long Life Found in the Ginkgo biloba Tree. Sakura. Yeah, Yosuke. So Sakura is in the genus Prunus. So plums and peaches and pears. They are all kind of the same. They look the same, right? The flowers. Yoban, have you never smelled the Bradford pear? So Bradford pear was created by an American, like, horticulturalist or, like, plant scientist. And he said, this is going to be the ultimate street tree. It's beautiful. It's disease resistant. It looks good in your front yard. It's a good street tree. And they planted them everywhere. And it's admittedly a kind of pretty tree. But they get certain diseases. And so they can get diseases kind of easily, actually. And then when they bloom, they smell, some people say they smell vaginal. Some people, they smell like semen. To me, they smell, I don't know. I mean, they just smell like weird, sour, kind of gross. X-ray. Museum. The ginkgo fruit does not smell good. Correct. Yeah. Isn't pear a pyrus? Oh, yeah. Okay, that very well could be the case. Prunus.
If you had the chance to...
I think you're correct. I got excited and threw it in there. Cherries and plums are prunus. Yeah. Okay, let's see.
If you had the chance to step outside this afternoon, maybe you checked on your garden. After all, it snowed just 3 days ago. Or maybe you took advantage of this beautiful
is in
day
Texas.
looking at other plants at the Fort Worth Botanic Garden.
Fort Worth is 3 hours away from me.
Are buds.
This is the ginkgo biloba, or ginkgo tree for short. Senior gardener Nick Estes cares for a handful of them in the Japanese garden.
Ginkgos are really...
Every botanical garden needs to have a Japanese garden. And a Titan arum. Two things to do.
Really tough trees. They're sort of like living fossils.
And that's exactly why this specific tree caught the eye of a UNT professor.
Ginkgo trees from China.
Richard Dixon studied ginkgo trees that were...
His name is Richard Dixon. His nickname, Dick Dixon.
20, 200, and 600 years old. And he noticed a trend.
The equivalent of the immune system in these trees is absolutely rock solid.
Unlike humans, Richard found that the immune system in ginkgo trees doesn't appear to get weaker with age.
These guys are going to keep growing and living until they get taken out by something that they just can't handle, like a fire or a flood. In the absence of that, they have the ability to keep living forever.
Richard recently published his research.
Psyche, yeah, please share. Please share the photos you took in the Discord. So this scientist did some research on the genetics and the immune system of ginkgo biloba, which allows it to actually survive for a long period of time, which is really exciting for, like, you know, plant science. And so it looks like he did some genetic analysis. The yellow color is very pretty, yeah. It all turns yellow at basically the same time, and they drop their leaves around the same time.
And it was no surprise to those who work closely with these special trees.
Well, there's been a lot of ancient Chinese medicine that goes along with this tree, so not at all surprised.
Ginkgo trees can survive in an urban climate, and they also respond well to pruning. So
they respond well to pruning. Can you propagate them vegetatively? I believe so. I think you can. From like an 8-inch long stem cutting, you should be able to. I've never done it. But that's my guess.
Nick says chances are you've already seen them just driving around.
For street trees, you'll see them commonly in landscapes as well.
But if you're wondering how they could scientifically add years to your life, Richard says, unfortunately, our genes are already programmed to deteriorate.
Yeah, so our genetics have telomeres, so there's like an end cap on your genes that over, you know, decades slowly goes down, and once that end cap is gone, then it starts removing your actual important genetics. It's like a protective end cap that slowly gets removed through the years.
over time. However, might not be a bad idea to start incorporating ginkgo extract into your diet.
If they feel it's, it does them good, that's great. I don't personally take it.
In Denton,
I drink red wine instead.
I'm Ariel Placencia.
Dr. Richard Dixon drinks red wine instead. We love him. Shout out to Dr. Richard Dixon at the University of North Texas. Icon. The free trial of life ends. Yeah. Big Pink Dragon, thanks for following. Okay. Can I how to propagate? How to propagate ginkgos. Used to chew on ginkgo leaves as a kid, and now you have photographic memory. That makes sense. There you go. I don't know. Well, there you go, Ethan. There you go. These are from seed. These people are growing them from seed. I would imagine cuttings would be better. Persian ginkgo. I think the way that this man is doing it might be the way that I would initially try it. I wouldn't want to do it from seed, honestly.
Hello everybody. Today I want to report my cutting from ginkgo below. Okay, I put the cutting in perlite.
Yeah, so this is perlite, which is a puffed volcanic rock. You can see he used this thing called Hormex. Hormex is a brand name for synthetically produced rooting hormone, or auxin. The plants produce a hormone called auxin that is responsible for root production and many other things. But presumably what he did was he got buds, or he got stem tissue that looks like it's like 6 to 8 inches long, and it looked like it was probably alive and about to grow or have a few leaves already. He cut them, wounded them slightly, put hormone on it, put them in this sterile media, which is like, it's just something that the roots can grow into, and they're in a basin of water, so that water can then go up into that. This is like a puffed rock, like this puffed rock, volcanic rock, and keep that moist and wet, and give it some light, and then it will make roots. Big Pink Dragon. You've seen people attempting to grow them as bonsai. That makes sense. I've seen them as bonsai too. Ginkgo bonsai. Yeah, this is a good looking one. Heron's bonsai. People like this part, looks like.
There's so many different leaf shapes. They all have slightly different leaf shapes. The more you look at the plants, the more you'll realize
I love his
what
shirt.
a lot of
His shirt is so cool. He's got pineapples, hibiscus, plumeria, monstera, some bananas. I saw dragon fruit or pitaya. There's star fruit over there.
variation there is. So
Papayas.
It's not just the color. Look at the difference.
He's got papayas on his shirt too. But look, yeah, he's showing off the variation in the leaf shapes. He's just propagating them, it looks like, to grow them as
Difference in the leaf shape of plants.
as an alternative to being. Sassy Frog had a good question. Instead of dipping the cuttings in rooting hormone, can you leave them in a solution? Yeah, I suppose you could. So it's the amount of that chemical is what can produce the roots. So having the right concentration. The thing that happens is I don't think you need a continuous signal of the chemical. So I think the plant just needs to perceive it, and then it could grow. I think it might be. That could work. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is cool. Green Mitchell. Michael, thanks for following.
Buy this. I was told on good authority by this grower that this is definitely a female ginkgo.
So it's a female ginkgo, so it's going to make those little fruits that are stinky. But it could be very pretty. Rose. Hey, Rose, you got a raise today. Congratulations. Exciting stuff. So his ginkgo looks like he's pulling it out.
And you can see the leaves don't have the slit in the middle. So this is how you tell whether a tree is male or female. Show you some still pictures of other ginkgos that I've had so that you can see some examples of ginkgo. So for those of you who wanted to see examples of ginkgo.
This one, why you should have ginkgo bonsai. Fascinating. Good stuff. I'm going to use the restroom, and then we'll do our metaflora. So metaflora is like Wordle for guessing plants. You can soak them in water with willow sticks. They have a natural hormone. There you go. That makes sense, Green Mitchell. Michael. Yeah. Willows make a ton of it, right? Willows are pretty easy to propagate from stem cuttings. Okay, happy Friday, Hilltopper. Others cuttings too, yeah. Others have a lot of oxen they produce, and it gets in the water. All right, we're gonna do a thing called metaflora. Oh wait, you had shared something, plant share. You feel educated, Sandy Gunner. Yeah, that's fun. Oh my gosh. This is great. Great photos. Thank you. This is beautiful colors. There's your Titan Arum. Really dark. You edited these photos, they look really good. Yeah, look at that. There's... There's some Chihuly art in the back. Pomatophyllum, pothos, crotons, marantas. That's pretty. Wow. You're a great photographer. 10 push-ups. Okay. Push-up time. And then metaflora, baby. These are community exercises. Oh, Hilltopper. It should work. Check them out. It should be better now. You love this community? Hey, okay, lovely. Well, Green Michael, thanks for being here and thanks for hanging out. Yeah. It's fun to talk about plants. So typically what we do is we talk about plants for a couple hours at the beginning, and then we chat, and then we just play some games and hang out. So thanks for coming in and hanging out. Yeah, I'm a plant, so I love plants, and I like video games, and I like exercising. And I love music. And so that's what we end up doing here. This is the Tejano Bomb Battlefield, Norteño style. That's right. Mario Bros. I love this album. Turns out it's AI generated. It was released 2 days ago. This one YouTube channel keeps producing like tons of like cultural fusion music. I was like, this is great. It is Legend of Zelda and Mario music in like Norteño style. It's like, that's cool. Oh, push-up time. So one of the things that we do is that it's important to keep our bodies active. And so we have a thing called community exercises. And T266726 activated 10 community push-ups. So you can do 1 at home, you can do 10 at home, but the idea is to get up and move around. Oh, we get the little thing again? Oh, there we go. Okay, great. We did it. We got our 10 push-ups. You just did leg day today, so you're not gonna get up. Okay, that's fair. Your cat is on top of your lap. Very fair. You can always do them later, or you don't have to. It's just a reminder, just how we have hydrate, reminder to drink water. It's a reminder to do so. Oh, wow. Okay. It's dancing time. Okay, let's see. We have a dance break. Great form. Thank you, Forte. Let me find some good Pokemon dancing music. Okay, I don't know what this is, but we're going to try it. I'm going to try it out. Get ready. Also, you can spam dancing emotes in the chat. And I will do my best to do that. Big spender. Yes, you are. Okay, let me adjust. There's a lot of little things that have to occur. I haven't optimized the system yet for getting all the things appropriately moved. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're gonna see. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna watch it, and we're gonna do this dance. Okay, Pokemon, dance time. Okay. Okay, it looks the same. I'll be like Totodile. Oh, you can't see Totodile on the screen. You can see Trico. Trico, okay. I'll just do the one you can see on the left. Hey, Snivy. I have to flap. I'll do the grass touch. Everybody, dance along. Okay, he's got a stick. Oh, cat time. Oh, he fell down. That's cute. This is funnier than a Netflix comedy special. I'm so glad. Cute. Not the balalaika. You weren't expecting it. No one expects the sneaky turtle. Well, I didn't expect that either. I didn't plan for that.